Hello everyone, my name is Archer and welcome back to a new video. It's been a while, but I'm back. I'm gonna try to upload a lot more, but you don't care about all of that shit. Let's get into the actual video. So, this series that you're watching right now is gonna be split into 5 parts for each of the roles. So there's a hard support video, a soft support video, an offlane video, a mid lane video, the one you're watching right now, and a safe lane video. So if you ever want to play another role or just give up playing mid, I guess, go and check out the other videos. But anyways, there are timestamps in the screen and in the description. And yeah, if you want to watch other videos, you can just head to my channel. So I do recommend you stick around for this first part, even though it covers multiple roles. But it applies to all the roles, so it's kinda important. And if you watched any of the other videos, you don't have to watch this first segment. But anyways, here are some general tips and information for your climb out of Herald or Guardian. So number 1, and this is the most important one, at least it was for me, and that is you won't get 100% win rate. You know, even Smurfs don't always get 100% win rate. If you even reach a 70% win rate consistently, then you'll be out of Herald in no time. Like 70%, that's insanely good. 60% is also really good. That's what I personally try to aim for. So I would recommend just aiming for 60% win rate. And even if you have like 55 or even 52, 51% win rate, that's also fine. It's just gonna take a bit longer. Number 2, and this one is also quite important, maybe not as much for climbing but in general, and that is don't blame your teammate. You are Herald for a reason, just accept it. It isn't your teammates. It isn't because you always have unwinnable games. You will have unwinnable games, but will these games be common? No. Most of the games you can affect. I know some people are gonna disagree with that, but you have quite a large impact as a player on your team, if that makes sense. Number 3, don't worry about going party or solo. It really doesn't matter, because yes, you might win a tiny bit more when you go party, because you know your friends and you get more consistent wins, but you also gain less MMR per win, so it balances out. It doesn't really matter. I played maybe 50-50. Number 4, join a community or get a coach. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much depth on this one, but honestly, just join a community. I have a great one in the description. Just join it. It has replay analysis, live sessions with an Immortal, and most of it is free, so just check it out in the description. That's where I've gained most of my knowledge. Number 5, climbing from Herald to Guardian is not about like learning a hero or mastering a hero or drafting or something like that. It's about fixing fundamental mistakes. If you can fix your fundamental mistakes, you will be out of Herald in no time, honestly. And number 6, and this is, I would say, yeah, the most important part, like in life in general, and that is just enjoy the game. Honestly, do what you enjoy. Like when I started playing Meepo, for example, in Herald, or actually low Guardian, I had a terrible win rate. Everyone was telling me just quit, it's not worth your time, like you shouldn't be playing Meepo when you're this bad. Kinda, that's what people said. And you know, I think they were right. I could have gained more MMR probably by not playing Meepo, but I learned a shit ton, and I actually got fairly decent with him after a while. I got like a 9 win streak and stuff, but then they nerfed him to shit, so I don't play him anymore. But still, if you enjoy doing something, just do it, honestly. Right now I'm playing Invoker quite a lot. Why? Well, I enjoy it, and I feel like it's a really good learning experience. Am I winning a lot? Yeah, not really, but I'm getting better, and my win rate is improving. So that's the general tips. Let's get into the mid guide. So, okay, I'm gonna speak about each of the different stages in the game, and if you don't know those, there are the early game, mid game and late game. There are like stages between that, but that's not so important. So you've got into a game, you've selected a hero, and you know, let's talk about heroes for a bit, because basically most mid heroes are pretty similar, but there are a few exceptions, and I would say mid is probably the most diverse role in my opinion, because each hero is fairly unique. So honestly, I would like to make a like individual guide for each mid hero, but I feel like that will just take way too much time, and I've already made one for Meepo. So if you play Meepo, go check it out. But anyways, let's get into the items for the general heroes. Most guides work just fine. I'm gonna make a video later on with like a more specific and more perfect guide to creating the perfect build for just you that like resembles the pros. But honestly, if you're playing a mid hero in Herald or Guardian, just use Rivalry or Immortal Faith. You know, builds differ a lot from hero to hero in mid, so just always follow the Rivalry guide to a T. And I mean, I feel like I must say this just so no one gets mad at me in the comments or just in general, and that is, Rivalry guides aren't perfect. And you know, some of them are better than others. But I mean, I'm gonna talk about that in another video. For now, just use Rivalry guides. They are way better than something we'd come up with on our own. So you know, yeah, it's still the basic supply. Get a tango, try to pull them in from your teammates, like ask them for a tango specifically. Get a ward, place it down near the mid wave. If you're a melee hero, go for a quelling blade. And if you're ranged, get null or wraith bands, depending on your hero's like main attribute. Yeah. And if you're wondering how to see your main attribute, you can just go into the hero in the heroes tab and check here. If this is green, then it's agility, blue intellect, and red it's strength. So Ursa is an agility hero. Okay, laning. So let's start with the start of the game, I guess, which is bounties. If you have like a strong level 1 spell, like with Monk King, I can think of Zeus, Sniper, then you know, try to help your team with bounties. Like, don't go and block, it's not like that important. Just if you can even help get one extra bounty, that's a lot of gold extra for you. And if you can get a kill as well, that's also like way better than blocking. And you know, yeah, if you don't have a good level 1 spell, like what's a good example? Puck isn't that great at level 1, then you can just honestly just block the creeps. And how do you do that? Well, you just walk in front of them basically. If you want to go like advanced, you can also stop with the S key while walking, but honestly just walking and blocking them works just fine. And yeah, another little tip is to center the camera around your hero by holding down space or double clicking space. Okay, so here's the most important thing of all, and the most important part of every mid hero, and that is understand your hero. With other roles, you might be able to even try a new hero in ranked, but honestly, with mid, that's not possible. Like, it's not worth it even. It's all about becoming like one with your hero, understanding your hero. That's the biggest like leap from noob to pro that you can do with mid. And honestly, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, mid is the hardest role to climb with in ranked. And some of you might disagree, like, oh, you have so much impact, yada yada. But I mean, like, if you're just getting into ranked, or you're just getting into mid, that's definitely the hardest role to start with. But honestly, don't be discouraged. It's a really good role for learning. And I mean, yeah, you have a lot of impact, as I said earlier. You basically control the games. So honestly, I'm all in for mid. Like, it requires a lot of concentration and it's a hard role, but you're gonna become a better player in all roles by playing mid. Like, your last setting is like, all the laning stages are basically last set trainers, which is really good when you're starting out. And You know, you're likely gonna get crushed a bunch by better mid players, especially in the beginning, but that's just great. You'll get a stronger mentality, and you'll just learn to always keep a positive mental attitude. Let's get to the point. In all other videos on like Dota 2 roles, I'll be able to like explain the general gist of all the heroes in the role and just go over all of the basic and intermediate stuff. But honestly, with mid, that's a lot harder, since there are a couple of mid heroes who are a lot different to all the other mid heroes. And you know, which are these? Well, there's mainly Invoker, Meepo, Storm, Shadow Fiend and Arc Warden. These are the ones that comes to mind that have a lot of a different playstyle, and they are a lot harder in my opinion than all the other mids. So I honestly want to create an individual video for each one of these later on, but for now, if you want to play Meepo, go check out my Meepo video. It's a bit old, but it's newer than all the other ones, all the other Meepo guides that I was able to find. But okay, for the most other heroes, like the laning stage is pretty simple honestly. Just try to draw aggro with both like melee and ranged heroes. And you might be wondering, what is drawing aggro? Well, I can show you here right now. You can draw aggro by right clicking them and then moving away like that. And you see the enemy creeps, they are walking towards me. So by right clicking the enemy hero, you can draw aggro from them. Okay, so why is drawing aggro good? Well, right now Axe could be like hitting you, and you know, it's a kind of like you're taking a lot of damage here. You don't want to be exactly in the creep wave, not as a ranged hero and not as a melee hero. So for example, you don't want to be right in the creep wave, not as ranged and not as melee. So by right clicking the enemy and dragging the creeps towards you, you can like get closer to your tower and get an advantage. So you just always draw aggro when possible. Okay. Since you know the laning stage is so important and honestly quite simple, I would highly recommend playing a couple of 1v1s with either a friend or just like look in the Discord in the description and you'll find a ton of people who wanna 1v1 you. So just practice some 1v1s, I highly recommend it, because it is boring. You might think it's boring, that's fine. Honestly, like, you can skip it, but it will like accelerate your progress a lot. And honestly, it's probably the thing you can do that will help you the most, especially if you can get some like tips from a pro player after you played some 1v1s. But you've successfully made it past the day, and you should probably have about the same last hits as the enemy, preferably more, maybe a kill, I don't know. And it's time for the night time. And honestly, it's basically the same as the laning stage. And the only difference is you can pressure the tower a bit more with the cart. So certain heroes are great at 5 minutes, like what comes to mind, Dragonite. You can probably just rush down the tier 1 at 5 minutes. But honestly, it's basically the same as daytime. You don't have any bounties that you really care about. I mean, you can gank, but it's not that great on most heroes. So just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, mid-game. Mid-game is honestly like, it's, I would say, the most fun part as a mid laner. There are a couple of mid laners who like peak in the late game, but most mid laners peak in the mid game. And also this stage is quite hero dependent. But there are generally 3 priorities you should have as mid. Number 1, if you didn't get crushed in lane and you have a strong early hero, like Quop is really good early. What else? I mean, Invoker, pretty decent early. Then go join some fights, try to get some kills. I mean, you can even TP to lanes. Just try to be active in the mid game, that's the main thing. But I mean, not all heroes are meant to be active. Like, I think Storm early on, before he's gotten his farm, and Morphling need to farm a bit. And that means you just, if you can, just stay in lane, push the lane, push other lanes if you can't stay in your own. And if the enemy is just crushing all your lanes, you can't farm anywhere, just go to the jungle. It's the worst option in my opinion of all of them. but it's still an option. It's better than dying. And you know, here's the thing about the mid game. I could go about every hero and like explain each hero's purpose and in the fights and yada yada, go over that. But honestly, it's mostly about pure experience. When you play a hero, you'll get more comfortable with when and how to use your spells. And honestly, with mid heroes, this is especially important. So just play. That's the best way to improve your mid game, in my opinion. But finally, let's get to the late game. So if the game goes late, there's mainly one thing you should think about, and that is to have fucking buyback. I'm honestly so tilted. Like 90% of games I watch in Herald or Guardian, they don't have buyback. They never have buyback. Honestly, you can probably increase your win rate by at least 5%, which it might not sound a lot, but it's a lot if all your teammates had buyback and you have buyback. It's not worth getting that, whatever you're buying, like Mjolnir or something. It's just have buyback, save buyback, please. That's you can buy like items with your surplus of gold, like the gold you don't need for buyback, but just have buyback. If there's one thing you should remember, it's buyback. And you know, yeah, another important thing is if you get a kill or two, take an objective right away. Like, let's say you get a kill while they are diving your high ground. Well, you can't really push their towers, so go take Roshan. Just do something with the time, because that's like 50 seconds where you are objectively stronger than the enemy, and you need to utilize that. Well, anyways, I have a lot more content planned in the future, so if you enjoyed this, please just subscribe, that helps a lot, and maybe like the video, I don't know. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to join the Discord in the description, and bye bye.